ಹಾಯ್ ಹಲೋ ನಮಸ್ತೆ. ನೀಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ನನ್ಮೆಯ SSLC ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳೇ, ಹಿಂದಿನ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ವಿ ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್. ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ most expected 4 mark questions with answers. So here is the part of history 4 marks question from the freedom movement. So that is the first question from the lesson freedom movement. Explain the role of moderates in the freedom struggle. The first phase of freedom struggle from 1885 to 1905 is known as the moderate period. The moderate leaders believed in constitutional methods. They had faith in fair sense of British government. Moderates taught people about political situation. They conducted meeting, discussed problem and placed before the government various requests related to development of industries, reduction of military expenses, improvement in educational standards, forcing in British government take up studies about the poverty in the country, etc. For the first time, the moderates critically analyzed the ill effects of British rule in India. They placed before the people facts and figures about the drain of Indian wealth into England. The next question. Discuss the role of Bal Gangadhar Tilak radicals in the Indian independence movement. Lal Pal Bal are called as radicals in our freedom struggle. Tilak declared, Swaraj is my birthright, I would definitely get it back. Attaining complete freedom was the aim of radicals. They tried to organize the common people of India. They attempted to organize people by employing religious celebrations too. They used Ganesha, Shivaji and Durga celebrations to organize people against the British. Tilak published Kesari in Marathi and Maratha in English language. He encouraged common people to protest against the British. The radical writings of Tilak galvanized the common people. The British arrested Tilak due to 3 developments. Tilak wrote a book named called as Geeta Rahasya in the prison, which further fueled the freedom fever. The next question. Explain the role of revolutionaries in Indian freedom movement. Revolutionaries dreamed of attaining complete freedom. They believed that they can drive away British by employing violent methods. They established secret associations across the country and started collecting weapons and money for an armed struggle against the British. A secret organization named Lotus and Dagger was founded in England. People like Aurobindo Ghosh, who were in England, supported the revolutionaries through this organization. Similarly, another revolutionary organization called Gadha in USA can be recalled here. Abhinava Bharata, Anushila Samiti were the 2 important secret organizations in India. They used bombs and guns to achieve their goal. Aurobindo Ghosh, V.D. Savarkar, Ashwini Kumara Datta, Rajanarayana Bose, Rajguru, Ras Bihari Ghosh, Madam Kama, Khudiram Bose, Ram Prasad Bismillah, Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Jatin Das and other were revolutionary leaders. So this is about. Let's move on to next lesson. Era of Gandhi and national movement. Explain non-cooperation movement. Gandhiji started this in 1920. Many senior lawyers like Deshabandhu Chittaranjan Das, Motilal Nehru and Rajendra Prasad left their legal practice. Students boycotted schools and colleges. Congress boycotted the elections for regional bodies. Many national institutions like Kashi Vidyapita, Gujarat Vidyapita, Bihar Vidyapita, Zamia Millia Islamia, Rashtriya Vidyalaya were established. Rabindranath Tagore returned his knighthood. Common people and women donated liberally to the Congress. Shops selling foreign goods were boycotted and foreign clothes were burnt. The visit of Prince of Wales in 1921 was opposed. Hence, Gandhiji withdrew non-cooperation movement in 1922. The next question, mention the civil disobedience movement in India. Civil disobedience started under the leadership of Gandhiji in 1930. Gandhi wrote a letter to Viceroy demanding 11 points. As the Viceroy rejected the demands, he would walk with followers up to Dandi. Gandhi covered 375 kilometers on foot and reached Dandi. He broke the law by holding fistful salt without paying the tax which the British had levied on salt. Charaka, the spinning wheel, became the more famous during this march. Gandhiji broke the British law on salt and started civil disobedience movement. Thousands of people participated in the salt satyagraha. The next question, explain the role of Gandhiji in freedom movement. The period between 1920 and 1947 is called as Gandhian era. Non-violence and satyagraha were the main tools of Gandhiji. In 1917, Gandhi launched Champaran movement for indigo growers. He started non-cooperation movement in 1920. In 1930, he started civil disobedience movement. Gandhiji walked with followers up to Dandi, covered 375 kilometers on foot and reached Dandi. Gandhiji participated in second round table conference. The Quit India movement declared British, you quit India. Gandhiji did his best in getting India's freedom. The next question, explain the farmers and labor protests. Farmers protest. During the British administration, many farmers rebelled against the British planters and zamindars. They opposed indigo cropping in Champaranya district. Farmers of Tebaga, Malabar and other places revolted against the British and zamindars under the influence of Congress. Many of the protests were organized under the banners of Kisan Sabha, which was influenced by the leftist ideologies. These protests were often in favor of the Congress and many times stood opposed to Congress. So these are farmers' protest. Let's come to the labor's protest. Workers' struggle started in Calcutta in 1872. The workers of jute and cotton mills, along with railways, started organizing themselves. Railway workers held protests in railway stations and raised slogans against the British officers. The Printers Union in Calcutta and cotton mill workers of Bombay created national awareness. A labor union was founded in Madras. The next question, explain the various tribal revolts in the history of independence struggle. The tax and forest policies implemented during the British administration were the reasons for tribal revolts. Among them, revolts of Santala, Kola and Munda are important. Halagali Beda's revolt of Karnataka is another notable revolt. With implementation of permanent zamindari system, these people became landless. The zamindars, money lenders and company government became the exploiters of Santala tribe. The upset Santalas met secretly and decided to loot the zamindars and the money lenders. The revolt was severe in Bharatpur, Bharhat and Rajmahal areas. As a result, the tribal people killed their enemies. Frightened money lenders and zamindars fled from these areas. Though the revolt of Santalas came to an end, it became an inspiration for many revolts in future. The next question, explain the achievements of Subhash Chandra Bose in independence movement. Subhash Chandra Bose had secured 4th rank in the Indian Civil Services exam. He refused posting and became part of the national freedom struggle. He became popular as Netaji. Subhash Chandra Bose became the president of Haripur Convention of Indian National Congress with the support of Gandhiji. A difference of opinion broke between Subhash Chandra Bose and Gandhiji. He objected Gandhiji's failure to seek foreign help in the matter with the aim of mobilizing the anti-British forces to fight against the British. Subhash Chandra Bose escaped from the house of arrest and reached Germany. The dictator Germany agreed to extend all the help to Bose. Bose organized the prisoners of war from India. He broadcasted his speeches over Azad Hind radio to Indians. On hearing about his success of Japan in the war, Bose joined the hands with Rash Bihari Bose to explore the possibility of seeking the help of Japan to liberate India. Rash Bihari Bose had founded India Independence League in Tokyo of Japan. He was calling its military wing as Indian National Army. Bose called for Delhi Chalo on this occasion. He said, "Give me your blood, I will get you Indian independence." The next question, explain the achievements of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has believed strongly that political freedom without social freedom is meaningless. Unless the last man, the fold hierarchical social system of Indian society gets social and economic freedom, political freedom of no value was his argument. He introduced the concept of India not only as political entity but a whole system. He studied the caste system and devised strategies to destroy it. In order to prove that the untouchables have been denied even basic human rights, he organized Mahad Tank and Kalaram Temple movements. He participated in all the 3 round table conferences and suggested various means to unshackle the bondages of the downtrodden communities in the Indian society. Differences of opinion emerged between Ambedkar and Gandhiji over the issue of development of Harijans. These are the contributions of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Let's come to the next question. Explain the major achievements of Nehru as the first Prime Minister of India. As the Prime Minister of India, he can be seen as the architect of industrialization and modern India. Nehru became instrumental in the integration of India, which was achieved through the Home Minister of his cabinet, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. The Iron Man of India was successful in bringing all the princely states of India together. He also laid foundation for the diverse culture of India by implementing language-based reorganization of states policy. He had firmly believed that only complete industrialization can bring development. He sought to develop India through 5-year plans. He sought to develop infrastructure and levy industries through these 5-year plans. With the aim of mastering atomic energy, he laid the foundation for under the leadership of H.J. Baba on the external affairs front. India wanted to stay away from both the powerful blocs of Cold War period and advocated non-allied movement. He was instrumental in staying away from politics by adhering to Panchashila principles. And the next question, describe the Jalianwala Bagh massacre. The British implemented the Rowlatt Act in 1990. Through this act, British started controlling the nationalists. Gandhi formed an association called Satyagraha Sabha to oppose this by utilizing numerous political methods like huge public marches and meetings along boycotts. The act was opposed. The British government decided to suppress the agitations. Gandhiji had called for one-day hartal on April 6, 1919. Dr. Fakhruddin and Dr. Satyapal, various other leaders were arrested in Punjab. To protest these arrests, the people had assembled in Jalianwala Bagh on April 13, 1919 on the day of Baisakhi festival. The military general of Amritsar, General Dayar, fired at the peaceful assembled the people and killed around 380 protesters. This incident saddened people like Gandhiji and others. Rabindranath Tagore returned his Knighthood Award back, opposing this mindless violence. This became the reason for the launch of non-cooperation movement by Gandhi. Quit India movement. The Congress started movement. Gandhiji gave call do or die. Cripps' suggestions were not accepted. Many leaders were imprisoned. Jayaprakash Narayan became the prominent, started many revolutionary activities. The government suppressed the movement, but Muslim League did not participate. So these are from the history. Let's move on to political science. From the lesson, the problems of India and their solutions. What are the problems that India facing? Unemployment, discrimination like gender, caste, regional inequalities, corruption, communalism, terrorism, cooperative strategies. Next question. What are the reasons for unemployment in India? Unemployment has become a huge problem in India. Why? Like the population, improved technology, shortage of natural resources, over dependency of agriculture, ruined cottage industries, and lack of skill-based education, unemployment, poverty. Next question. What are the measures needed for the eradication of unemployment? Steps have been taken to improve the skill level of the job seekers, providing loans and subsidy to enable people to engage in self-employment. Give support to handicrafts and products created out of the self-employment. Suggest a job-oriented course to all. Subsidy, encouragement to self-employment. Next question. How political corruption leads to crime? Political corruption also provides motivation of corruption in public life. It nourishes the misadministration on the part of officials. Things like tax evasion, illegal hoarding, smuggling, economic offences, cheating, violation of international exchange, unemployment, cheating all find space in corruption. What are the remedies for controlling the corruption? Corruption can be rooted out only through the strong public ethics and morality and personal commitment. Political will and public support is inevitable for tackling corruption. Political leadership, good officers, and politically aware and educated public can weed out corruption. Institutions like Lokpal and Lokayukta can bring down corruption drastically. Education institutions can take a lead in this direction by installing CCTV cameras in government offices. Measures like awarding harsh punishment for corrupt officials also bring in some changes. Increasing the number of courts and judges can also rein in. What are your suggestions to improve the status of women? Or what are the measures taken by the government to improve the status of women? Established Department of Women and Children Development, stress for female education, prohibition of Child Marriage Act, Dowry Prohibition Act, implemented a Stree Shakti program, loans for self-employment, Mahila Mandalas, Yuvati Mandalas, Stree Shakti groups also organized. Self-help groups and women cooperative societies are started. Women commissions at state and national levels. Reservations in legislature at local bodies. The next question, how is communalism fatal to national unity? Explain. It creates social differences, mutual suspicion and fear situation in the society, political competition, social groupism and economic hatefulness is expressed in communalism. Communalism has the capacity to endanger the integrity and unity of India. It not only disturbs the peace of the society, it also destroys the public and private property. It leads to mutual accusation and physical assaults and other undesirable effects. And the next question, what are the measures needed for the eradication of communalism? Uniform civil code, equality among all the citizens, supporting secular values in the society and transcending narrow thoughts in favor of national interests can be the solutions for communalism. Attempts should be made to foster the faiths of all people and develop healthy national thoughts. Precautions should be taken to check communalism as it would spoil the integrity, equality, fraternity and cultural diversity of India. The citizens should commit themselves for a secular society. And the next part of geography, that's it about the political science, and let's move on to geography, most expected 4 marks questions. From the lesson Indian forest resources, mention the importance of forests. Forests provide a large variety of woods which are used as fuel, timber and industrial raw materials. Forests provide fodder for livestock, employment opportunities for the people. Forests preserve the physical features, check soil erosion, control floods and regulate the flow of rivers. Forests prevents desertification, help to improve soil fertility, make the climate equable and help to maintain ecological balance. They provide shelter to wildlife. Next question, what is forest? Name the different types of forest in India. A large area of land covered with trees and undergrowth is called forests. Types of forests are the tropical evergreen forests, the tropical deciduous forests, scrub forests and grasslands, desert vegetation, mountain forests, mangrove forests. Mention any 4 measures for the conservation of forests, or how can forest be conserved? Control of deforestation, restriction on grazing, control of forest fires, prevention of encroachment on forests, control of forest insects and diseases, controlling illegal cutting of trees, scientific cutting of trees, legislation to check deforestation, encourage afforestation, creating of awareness among the people about the importance of forests. Next question, what are the causes for destruction of forests? The causes for destruction of forests are expansion of agriculture, animal grazing, construction of roads and rail routes, irrigation projects, forest fires, mining forest fires, etc. are the main causes for the destruction of forests. Hence, it is very essential to protect forests. So, and the next lesson, Indian land resources. What is mean by use of land? What is mean by land use pattern? Name the classification of land use pattern. The distribution of land for different uses such as forestry, cultivation, pastures, etc. is called as land use. Classifications are net area zone, forest area, land not available for cultivation, fallow land, cultivatable waste, permanent pasture and other grazing land, land under miscellaneous uses. Next question, explain the importance of agriculture. Nearly 65% of the people depend on agriculture. The economic progress of the country depends on the progress of agriculture. Agriculture in India is the main source of livelihood. It is the main source of food for the people and fodder for the domestic animals. It is a source of national income and revenue. Agriculture supports tertiary sectors like trade, transport, banking, insurance, etc. It also has influence on the political and social situation of the country. It supports many industries, that is cotton and jute textiles, sugar industries, etc. The next question, what are the types of agriculture? Subsistence farming, in that shifting subsistence farming and sedentary subsistence farming. Next one, intensive farming, commercial farming, mixed farming, plantation farming, dry farming, humid farming, irrigation farming. Next question. So what are the factors that influence land use, or why does land use vary from one area to another? Relief features, climate, soil, population density, socio-economic and technical factors. So that's it about today's session. I hope you have understood till now what we are discussed. So these are the 4 marks expected, most expected 4 marks questions with complete analysis. In case if you having any doubts, you can comment in the comment box. I will solve your doubts and I will come back with the next video. Until, keep watching my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day. See you in the next session. Bye bye. Take care.